Hi, welcome to our project, Two Wheels, One Vision, a unique route to the loop. We are the team behind this project. I'm Lindsay Middleton.
I'm Tia Taylor.
I'm Rowdy Peets.
I'm Miles Gensler.
And now on this video are Kate Brickmore and Bessie Onatella. We want to say thank you to all of our consultants, Dr. Bing, and the judges. We know without you guys, this project would not have been possible. And here's a quick rundown of our agenda for today.
So we're going to start with the background. As you can see, we have a map of the Katy Trail. The Katy Trail is about 3.5 miles, and it sees 2 million annual visitors. Really what we're seeing is a lot of development and an increase in foot traffic around the Katy Trail in these surrounding areas, as you can see. Also, the Katy Trail will be connected to the Loop Project. The Loop Project is a broader 50-mile trail that will be connecting all parts of Dallas, and so this will also significantly increase volume. So these are some of the major developments on and around the Katy Trail. I want to highlight one specifically, which is the high-rise Knox Street development. This is a $620 million private real estate project, making it Dallas's largest real estate project, and this will continue to increase volume around the Katy Trail and the surrounding areas. In the current reality, and so obviously with an increase of volume, there's issues sometimes with safety. And so Dallas currently in 2021, Dallas saw 95 bicycle accidents. And this compared to about 230 miles of existing bicycle networks. And so this number is actually fairly low compared to other metroplex of the same area. So there's infrastructure gaps, which leads to safety issues. So what is really the problem? There is a huge overcrowding, which causes an increase in risk and safety risk. We are also seeing a ton of developmental projects, and the construction and future connection to the loop will also significantly increase these issues. So right now, what we're seeing is the Katy Trail is becoming very crowded and unsafe. So what are we going to do about it? So we want to first thank our clients, the Friends of the Katy Trail, the Dallas Department of Transportation, and the Loop Dallas. They have a key part in this proposal.
Okay, so for our methods, we know the problem, but what did we actually do to solve the problem? So we visited the Katy Trail. We wanted to get boots on the ground and visit the Katy Trail itself and the surrounding areas to get a gauge of the actual problem. So we made observations of the cyclist and pedestrian interactions between one another. And then following that, we conducted interviews with those cyclists and pedestrians to get their own opinions. Further, we analyzed AI data from pings from cell phones, looked at maps of different Dallas areas, and looked at similar case studies in cities that resemble Dallas. And then to actually create our solution, we would have been incapable of doing that without actually consulting architects, board members, real estate developers, and other local experts to figure out if our solution was actually feasible. And so after doing that, we made many key findings. So we found that lack of signage on the trail causes an extreme unawareness of Katy Trail etiquette between the pedestrians and the cyclists, as you can see in the video to the right. In the cyclist interviews, the main issues that we found for the cyclists were that they just have an extreme fear of hitting pedestrians, as you can see right there. And they feel limited on the narrow trail path because they have difficulty getting around the pedestrians. And then in general, they just feel like their concerns and needs aren't truly being brought to attention by the people in charge of the public infrastructure. And they normally listen to the pedestrians more in what they desire. And so because of that, the cyclists actually only comprise 18% of total Katy Trail users, and that number drops to as low as 8% during peak hours. And then we found through interviews with pedestrians that they share the similar concerns towards the cyclists and feel that the cyclists kind of bully them on the trail as well. So because of that, we found that pedestrians would also be appreciative, just like the cyclist, in the creation of an alternate route.
So how do we take these key findings into our new recommendation? We decided that the best alternative was to create a new route to subsidize the bicyclists on the trail onto an alternate route. This will start at on the trail itself, then goes to Knox Henderson, Buena Vista Street through Fitzhugh, then Turtle Creek Boulevard, and finally Reversion Park. The first part of the trail, we decided to keep cyclists on the trail due to University Park, which is the surrounding neighborhood, not wanting to share the current road infrastructure as they believe it will increase safety concerns and congestion. By keeping the cyclists on the trail, though, we therefore worry that it'll decrease the level of safety and increase the level of congestion, which is why we want to implement the following signs onto the trail. By implementing the sign on the left, we hope that it can help delegate where cyclists and pedestrians will each occupy, therefore decreasing the amount of potential collisions. By implementing hours, we believe that we can mitigate the overall congestion on the trail during peak hours. And finally, by implementing a speed limit, we hope that we can increase safety by decreasing the probability of having high collision impacts. The second part of the trail, we decided to go with the Dallas Department of Transportation's existing recommendation of implementing separate bike lanes physically separated from the main road itself. We chose these specific streets because the roadways are the least congested, pre-existent, and proximate roadways, which increase cyclist safety while still keeping them close to the Katy Trail itself.
The third part of our route is from Turtle Creek Boulevard all the way down to Maple Street. We are going to utilize off-street bikeways that are already in existence, so we really wouldn't have to do anything infrastructurally for this part of the route. The fourth and final part of our route will go through Reverchon Park. We're going to utilize Spring Avenue, which is the street that runs straight up through Reverchon Park, which you can see on the left, and make it a shared bicycle path. We're going to run that bicycle path all the way back behind the baseball fields into the parking lot, which you can see below. At the end of the parking lot, we're going to build a ramp which leads down into the Reverchon Park tunnels. With information given from Friends of Reverchon Park, we actually learned that they have previous plans, engineering plans, and a proposed budget to convert the Reverchon Park tunnel into bike lanes. The two easternmost tunnels will be converted into bike lanes, while the two westernmost tunnels will be converted into a new route for the creek to run through. Here are the proposed engineering plans, as you can see in each of these photos.
So how do we make all of this a reality? Obviously, in order to make a project this scale come true, we need to raise a significant amount of funds. While this number may initially be intimidating, I want to break down the overall budget delegated to the alternate route in comparison to the loop project itself. The loop is scheduled or estimated to take about $120 million to fully complete. And meanwhile, our alternate route will only comprise 1.8% of that. If you look at the category breakdown within that 2.2 million or that 1.8%, the majority of the allocation of funds goes to the connecting ramp and tunnel, as well as the Fitzhugh updates. In order to unify Dallas, we thought that it would be best to do a combination of both private and public funding. This will consist of neighborhood associations, different vendors through restaurants or gyms or something of that sort on the private side. And then in terms of public, we will go to Dallas themselves in hopes of receiving grants.
Okay, in conclusion, we have made sure that we understand the current issues regarding the Katy Trail and its surrounding areas. We've prioritized pedestrian and cyclist safety and determined what makes public spaces such as the trail safe or unsafe. We also have implemented contributions made by community members and focused on biking lane enhancements, increased signage, a crosswalk for alternate route, and more. Ultimately, we have designed an alternative route that will maximize safety for pedestrians and cyclists, all while enhancing Dallas's transportation infrastructure. Our impact is threefold. We focus on safety, transportation, and infrastructure. We have alleviated tensions between cyclists and pedestrians, promoted cycling as a feasible and safe transportation alternative, and also accommodated and adjusted for developmental stress in the area by enhancing and adding infrastructure to Dallas to make it more walkable and bike-friendly. These are our key informants. We are very thankful for each of you. And with that, we are 2 Wheels, 1 Vision.